So when we talk about this particular part, a lot of people, whenever I happen to talk to them, a lot of people ask me this question that passion is good, but what about paycheck? Okay. So this is right. Survival comes first and foremost for everybody who wants to do anything in their careers. Like we are all looking for something or other, right? I still remember the song from the movie Kayamat se Kayamat tak. So the Papa कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा, right? So all of us are into that kind of a mode. We all want to make a name for ourselves, and we all looking for different fields. We are all looking for different careers in our lives. So it's fantastic to have a CV like that, when you are actually trying to tell that, I'm so and so, I've done this, I've been into Navy, I've been into creative field, and now I'm getting into speaking community and I'm becoming a speaker and whatnot, right? Now the issue is that whenever we talk about passion, so only thing that we actually can relate to passion is our heart. Okay. So when there is something that resides in the heart and which tells you that something that you do is something that you love, or something that you love is that you do, is something what you're going to talk about today. So that there's a big difference between liking what you do or loving what you do and doing what you love. Okay. A lot of people today are trying to emphasize on this particular fact that you love what you do. Okay. And doing what you love is very different than loving what you do. Here, when I want to start this particular session, before I actually go into this paycheck and passionable business, one simple thing that we need to know is, end of the day, what is our life? Our life is nothing but a journey, right? It's all about a journey. So there's a famous saying that I always keep quoting to people. It says that it's always good to have an end to the journey, but what matters in the end is the journey itself. Okay. So my today, whatever milestones that has happened and that you are trying to quote today to introduce me, probably they happen to be just the milestones in my journey. The journey is not yet over. The journey is still on. So I'm a person who is not really excited about the destination, but I'm excited about the journey part of it. So when we talk about this particular session today, we'll be talking about the journey. How do we enjoy the journey part of it? The moment you start enjoying the journey part of it, destination is bound to come today or tomorrow. Okay. So a lot of people will tell you, as life coaches, they'll tell you that, there is a particular destination that you need to reach, set a goal for your life. All that looks great. But just remember all those people who actually try to climb Mount Everest. Okay. So what happens is there is a bunch of people who start with this mission when they actually want to climb up Mount Everest. There are a lot of people, dreamers, who dream of climbing Mount Everest, and they sleep in their, in their couches or their beds, keep thinking about this particular fact that I want to climb Mount Everest someday or other. Okay. The dream dies and that they never take off. There are a set of people who are like that. There are a set of people who say that, no, I will never let this dream die. I will fight it myself. I will make sure that I climb Everest. They go for the summit. They prepare themselves for the mountaineering training. They train themselves for years altogether. They probably try to manage funds so that they can go for the first summit at least. They give it a shot. People fail 1, 2, 3 times, and then there are a lot of people who give up. Okay, they really don't make it. And there are a lot of people who say that, okay, I tried it in 2, 3 summits, but I still made it. So what happens is, end of the day, if there are 8,000 people who actually could make it till today to climb Mount Everest, they are just one of them. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, okay, what is that moment when you already took all your strength, you did every preparation that you could, and then you climbed up there and you reached there. Once you reach there, you will realize that most of the times the destination on top is lonely and that is where you find only yourself. So what happens is, the best part of life is the journey when you have a lot of people around you who are with you. So it's not the climbing Mount Everest that mattered to you. What mattered to you is the journey, where it started with a dream and you ensured that you are on the right on top of Mount Everest, living that moment. But it is just the moment of joy for that moment. Do you live there for your life? No, you don't. After that, you need to still descend. Still, you need to come back. So coming back is not always as exciting as climbing up, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, life is nothing but this particular journey. When we talk about passion, it looks very, very exciting to talk about, okay, something I love to do and I would like to do it all my life, only the same thing that I've been doing and just doing for the fun of part of it. Like when I was in college, at that given point of time, probably, going on stage, performing on stage was a dream for me, and I was loving that part of it. Every time I used to be on, like, there used to be, I used to ooze out of energy, and that energy could be felt by people who were there. And all those people would agree that, that kind of a passion is something that you would treasure for life. But what happens when that particular passion, which is making you do the best that you can do, is going to be there forever? So today what we're going to talk about is, we are going to talk about the perspective with which the entire world has told you that what exactly your life should be like. पहले पहले लोग बोलते हैं कि भैया तुम, all you need to do is basically, pass 10th and then the life is set for you. You don't have to worry about anything. Then they said that 12th ka beta is very important. If you clear 12th, this is going to make a difference in your life. And then they say that कि बेटा engineering कर ले, MBBS कर ले. People will tell you that CA कर ले. किसी को बोलते हैं कि भाई, do something or other. There are just milestones that's been thrown up to you. For what? End of the day, what they want you to do is end up in a job. Not beyond it. Today you say that, okay, I'm going to study, but I'm not going to take up a job. Who is going to like it? Nobody is going to like it. Your own family is going to be against you, saying that, Hari, how come itni sari padhai kyun ki tumne fir? That's the question that we are getting into today. Most of the times when we talk to people, when I interact with youngsters, a lot of people say that, what is that thing that I can do, sir, which will land me up in a job in Google, land me up in a job in Microsoft? They can't think beyond a job. So that's the perspective today I want to change. If you don't change this perspective of landing yourself into a job, probably the dream job of yours, okay, if you don't come out of that perspective, you are not exploring the possibilities that are there with you today. Unfortunately, that is the state with most of us. If I ask this question to everybody who's a participant today, if I ask how many of them are the ones who has faced this kind of a scenario, where the family, the friends, and the your own colleagues have pressurized you to do something that you were never interested in doing. You never wanted to be doing something that you would say that, okay, this is what I wanted to do, but unfortunately I'm not able to do that. Most of the times you land up in something, in a job where you every day, when you go to work, you're just looking for that weekend to come. You are looking for that, okay, 10 days down the line, there is a holiday coming. That's what you're interested in. Every day you go to the desk and you say that, when is that 5 o'clock is going to get over? When am I going to end my day today? So that's the kind of work that we are all of us are into. But today I'm going to share the power of passion with you all. Okay. What happens when you really understand the power of passion? Once you understand that, once you love doing what you love, when you start working into something or doing something that you love, then there is nothing called looking for a holiday. There is nothing called looking for a weekend. There is nothing called looking for the retirement. A lot of people say 5 to 10 years, 10 साल करना है मुझे काम, उसके बाद तो भाई retirement लेना है, and I will settle down somewhere, and I'll be somewhere in the hills, or I will be there in the island. It's all dream. Okay, we all live with this particular hope for ourselves that we will do it someday. But is that all? Do you think that we deserve a life like that, where we start thinking that okay, this is something that we can think of? But I'm going to share a little story with you because I'm a storyteller myself. So I would love to tell my things in my own way, like in small little stories. So now I'm going to tell you a story. In Japan, there is a famous studio called Studio Ghibli. The Studio Ghibli, I don't know whether all of you people who are interested in animation kind of films would know it, that one of their films won an Oscar for the best original story and the best animation film on earth. Okay, I can say this because the best and the USP of this particular studio is that they do not use a computer for their storyboarding. Storyboarding is basically when you make, you know, what do you say? I would say the frame by frame presentation of how would it look on screen. That's called storyboarding. The storyboarding is done by actual artists who actually paint. It is never done by the computer, even though today technologically we are so advanced that most of our animation takes place in computer. Okay, in special effects and etc. etc. But they stick to the basics of artist because their founder, Mr. There is a young, there is a old man called Miyazaki, who's an artist himself. He's the one who actually founds this particular studio. Okay, who founded this particular studio. And his thing is, he's so passionate an artist that he would love to paint even today, despite taking retirement 10 years back. What happens is he was forced into a retirement because he went on a national holiday to the studio to paint, just to understand, because he believed that there will not be anybody to disturb him so that he can work alone. Can you believe it? He's a person who used to work 24/7 without even thinking because he loved what he was doing. He loved painting. So after his retirement day, when he was given a befitting retirement and he was told, Sir, kal se aap mat aiye office. You know what he did? The next day, he landed up in his office and everybody was surprised. And when he was asked, Sir, why did you come back? You know what was his answer? His answer was very simple. He just smiled and said, okay, don't make me a founder, don't make me a director. I will not direct, I will not produce, but I will just paint. So pay me for paint. You know, even if you don't pay me, then also I will still paint it because I can't live without painting. You know, so what I'm trying to tell you is that there is no date of retirement is required. There is nothing called you would do it today or tomorrow. There is nothing for holiday. There is nothing called weekend for you. Once you start loving what you do, when you do something that you love, all this is a secondary. Okay, so that's the power of passion I was talking about. So if you there is a Japanese concept called ikigai. Iki is basically which talks about life, and gai is basically the purpose of it. So what happens is when you find the purpose in your life, that what you exactly want to achieve, that every day when you get up, you don't get up that, oh my God, I have another day, what do I need to do? No, when you get up, you find a purpose in life that today I will do something that would be so strong a purpose that I will start living this day like I'm looking forward to the next day. You know, that is the kind of purpose that we need to find in our lives. So once this perspective of not looking the life from the job's perspective gets over, today what I'm trying to tell you is that I was just going through one of the articles. What I loved is the top 10 highest paid celebs in the world. If you take the under 30 people out of it, you'd be surprised. Out of 10 of them, only one is a reality star, 4 of them are musicians, and 5 of them are athletes. Okay, so they are the top billionaires in the world, under 30. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, even if you land up in the biggest job ever, even if you become the CEO of a company, do you think you have achieved it all? Idea is to tell you that there is no end to the achievement part of it. You can keep achieving. Today you become CEO of a company, then you might be looking for taking off another company, getting bigger, bigger and bigger, and there's no end to it. But when you start doing something which starts taking into account that I have so much to do, that, you all of you might have heard of this particular saying, jack of all trades, master of none. That used to be something which used to be told to us, saying that ke beta jack of all trades mat bano, master of none ka matlab nahi hai. You need to be master in something, you need to be an expert in something. What happens is, let me give you a small example. All those people, I don't know, a lot of people must be playing cricket, or they must be watching cricket. Like cricket is such a religion in our country. Today, over the years, let's think of 10 years back down the line. What used to happen? There used to be test cricket, and test cricket slowly, lost its momentum, and then we got into one day, which was like 50-50 overs game. Now nobody has time to watch a 50-50 over game anymore. People are preferring T20, like 20-20 overs, 1.5 hours, 3 hours of game, and we fun it. IPL is something which is ruling the world, right? So today, when I ask you this question, we have two people to choose for a team, for an Indian team. Like, let me give you example of Umesh Yadav, who's a very good bowler, and Pandya is another bowler. Okay, both of them can actually deliver pace, and both of them can bowl at a good pace, and both are good bowlers. But if I need to pick up in my team between these two, one, who would you choose? The choice is so simple. Umesh Yadav might be a very good bowler, but he doesn't know how to bat. But Pandya, on the other hand, can field, can bat, and can bowl. So the choice is obvious. So what happens is, if somebody tells you that just do something that you're good at and keep doing it, you become an expert. You might become an expert. But is that the trend? Is that something that we are looking for today? No. Things have changed. T20 does not require somebody who is very good, who would probably bowl, the best of it, and then probably with the let of the team perform for it. No, we are looking for as many all-rounders as we can have in the team today, because everybody can contribute in one way or other. So the multiple facets of a people has becoming more and more important for us when we talk about passion getting into paycheck. So you might be really good at one particular thing, but do the market requires you or not is a big question. So all those people who might be following this trend, what is going to happen in next few years, down the line, next few decades rather, I'll not say next few years, machines are going to take over everybody, which is going to be a job which is mundane. Like you might be coding for years altogether, but tomorrow a robot is going to take over your job, because this is something which you have been doing it for years, and that has been already taken, the machine learning has taken over that, and he can code it. A machine can code it for you. A machine can do things that are supposed to be, that can be done by a machine. So what happens today is that the challenges are more. Now the human factor has come in. Today, if you don't do anything that doesn't have a human factor to it, probably you will be losing out on your profession. So what happens today, the biggest challenge for everybody is to understand there is something called emotional quotient. This emotional quotient is something all of us are lacking. Like today, if there is an adversity which is coming, do you think the intelligence is going to help you in coming out of it? No, it is always your emotions that is going to. So that's where I'm going to come to my next topic, which is called the power of emotion. A lot of people, when I speak to them, as a career growth counselor, when I speak to them, a lot of people tell me that, sir, मैं emotionally काफी weak हूँ. And a lot of people, when they say that I'm emotionally quite weak and I don't know how do I actually work on that. Most of the people, whosoever I speak to, I tell them that emotionally कोई weak हो ही नहीं सकता, because if you take out emotion part of it out of us, I don't think we're going to be humans anymore, right? So the human factor is very much related to the emotion factor. If you're emotional and you can connect, you can actually understand that how the other person is going to react in a particular situation. That's probably is going to make you a best fit for the kind of jobs that are going to come tomorrow. So when I'm going to be in a creative field and I'm going to do something that I love, today when I talk about my journey from engineering, going into Navy, and from Navy coming out and going to IIM Indore and doing my management there, and after that going into a corporate job, from corporate job coming back to the film industry, becoming a writer or a filmmaker, it's a journey itself. What happens is, मैं सबको ये बोलता हूँ, I keep telling this to everyone, the life is like a ticket to the amusement park. आप लोग गए होंगे, right? It's like a amusement park. When you go, there are thousands of rides, and in one ticket you need to do all of them. So a lot of people say that, oh my god, there are so many rides I need to do. So I'm one of those greedy person who would like to do all the rides, because every single emotion that we go through, every single experience in our life are nothing but the rides in that amusement park. So if you have missed out on them, probably you'll repent it tomorrow. So today when we talk about what is that thing that is going to make sure that we can make that we doing what you love to a situation where we can sustain ourselves as well. Today when I talk about just writing, when we talk about making films, if that doesn't pay me money, what do? I need to go back. I need to go back to the sustainable part of it, so that I start surviving. So the best and the most important part when you start about passion to paycheck is to understand, do we have a passion that we can actually consider for our life? Do we have something that we love so much that we'll do anything to make sure that that dream is fulfilled in our life? Okay, so when I start writing, if I don't make the sense of happiness out of, if I don't get the sense of happiness out of it, then there is no point. But then there are some difficult choices to make. There is something called, a lot of people would have had, there is somebody who is very famous guy who has written this fact. He says there is something called happy money and there is something called unhappy money. Okay. Unhappy money is something that you keep putting in your account when you see that you do a job which you don't like at all, but you go every day there, and then end of the month you look at your account and you say that, okay, there is some amount which is there in my account and that is going to take care of my needs. Okay, so that's something. You're not happy with yourself, you're not happy about the work, you're not happy about the culture, the environment, about your life, but still you're making money. So that is making you survive, that is making you to excel in life in one way or other. You're probably taking care of your needs. But there is something called happy money. Okay, you didn't get what you really wanted. You wanted a 1 lakh at the end of the month in your account. You didn't get 1 lakh. But what did you get is probably 20,000 rupees. But what you're happy about is you never cared. You never cared that how long did you work, whether you did sleep or not, whether you were getting enough time for your family or not. You just didn't care. You were working throughout because you didn't look at the account at the end of the month. What you were looking at is the happiness. Every time you would go to bed, you will sleep peacefully, thinking that I did something today that is taking me towards my goal. So it might take ages for me to reach that destination, but I'm just inching towards it. So that's the feeling with which you want to live. That is the first and foremost thing when you think about when you're converting your passion to paycheck. Okay, if you're in the right path, then probably you need to know what exactly is that thing that you're looking for, that you like to do. After you get to know that what talent do you have, the first thing is to show them to people. Unless until you show it to people, unless until they get to know what you have, what you are blessed with, nobody would be able to help or support you. The best part today is you have the power of social media. Everything that you have inside you can be nurtured. In my time, when I was making my first film, in 2007 down there, I didn't have the luxury of understanding filmmaking, watching a YouTube video or tutorials. No, I didn't have. The technology wasn't there for me. Today, you have thousands of videos that will tell you how to go about a film, how to write a story, how to understand that how the screenplay is made, how the film is made. Nobody was there to like, I understood it in a hard way. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when you have the luxury of all this technology, which is providing you tons of information and knowledge, make sure you use them, because you're lucky that it is there with you. Then the most important part is take guidance from people who have done it before you. Like today, when I'm talking to all of you about passion and paycheck, because I started with a moment where I had a corporate job. When I go back, probably, I had 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs in the account, and I was very happy, thinking that at the end of the month I have 2 lakhs to spend. Okay, and there was a time when I actually gave up my job to take up this particular profession into writing. You wouldn't know, for months altogether, for 7 months, I was looking at my account at the end of the month. There was nothing in it. There was absolutely nothing in it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, okay, the challenge is not going to be simple. The challenge is going to be very, very testing. When you start initially, when you've taken that particular stand that I'm going to do this myself, yes, times are going to be testing you, but don't give up, because that is where you would need to understand that, okay, days will come where you will get paid what you want. So there came a day where I was writing this film for one of the Indo-US co-productions, and they were actually trying to negotiate with me with my cost. And I said, no, if you don't pay me my remuneration, and this is my demand, if you don't pay me, I'm not doing this film. 3 days they took, but yes, I was signed as a screenplay writer. So what I'm trying to tell you is, there comes a day when you will get what you deserve, but you need to wait for that to happen. Next thing is, many a times you will find most of the people, the first no comes from you, comes from within. Okay, every time you want to do something which is different, which is unconventional, the first one to tell you a big no is the one inside you. Okay, your own conscience, which tells you that, your own soul, which tells you that, no, probably you can't do it, you're not good enough. But yes, once you overcome that and decide that you want to do it, there will be a lot of people, your family, your friends, a lot of people will tell you that probably you are taking a big risk. Do you think it is worth it? So that is the question that you're going to accept, and you say that, yes, I accept his challenge. But there will be people who are good wishers who will tell you that, yes, you can do it, we are with you. So you need to be in the company of people who are going to support you, because that makes you believe that you can do it today or tomorrow. Okay, then there is something called training part of it. Even if you want to decide that you're a good singer or you're a good painter, you want to do something in writing and something in blogging, there are many things that happens today. You want to do something in animation, what happens is, get trained in that. You know that, okay, there is today or tomorrow you want to make a career in that. Get trained, get a certification done, understand the skills. The certification, I'll not say is more important. More important is the skill. See, I didn't get a certification, but I did work day and night on editing table to understand how does editing take place. Okay, unless until I understand that part of it, I don't think I'll be able to write it the way where it is, the way it is required. So that's more important part of it. And learn from the experience that you go through. Like, even if you fail 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, many times you'd fail. The failure is okay, because only through those experiences you would become a better person, a better and a passionate learner. It's not about just being passionate about something. You should also be a passionate learner about it. Once you learn things that will help you, it's more important part of it. And whatever you do in your life, small little things, a blog that you write, a poem that you write, a photo that you click, whatever you want to do in life, add some value to it. Every time you do something for people, every time you work for somebody, even if you don't work, even if you don't work for money, do it with utmost sincerity, so that there is value to it. Once they understand the value to it, they would know what is your skill and what is your worth. Okay, that's more important part of it. The most important part, I would say, is that you need to work. Even if you want to convert a passion into paycheck, the most important part for you to understand is, make changes to your mindset. Mindset should be not money. The moment you look at money, the moment if you look at success, the moment you look at fame and the bigger things in life which comes as a package to doing something with passion. The moment your focus is on the outer outcomes of it, I think you will lose the focus of it. The focus should always be on the journey. As I told you, once you start knowing that I'm doing something which is very, very interesting and I'm loving it, don't worry what is going to come as an outcome. Obviously, the outcome is going to surprise you for sure, today or tomorrow. Okay. And the last thing that I would like to say, everyone, is know your worth. If you don't know your worth, nobody in this world would know. So every time people will tell you that you would work it for me for this amount of money, understand and learn to say no. Unless until you say no, people would never know what you're worth. You might be losing one or two opportunities just because it didn't work out for you, but you are the one who should know your own worth. Never ever compromise on that part of it. Okay. So today, when I'm talking about things that are going to be about happiness, that are going to be about happy money and whatnot, we might be talking about a situation when I happen to be on TEDx Gateway as a speaker, and I was delivering a talk on the motivation part of it is called who is the Josh, not how is the Josh, but who is the Josh. And I happened to deliver the talk. And after the talk, there in a Q&A session, there is somebody who asked me, it's a story that I can never forget. So I need to mention it here. Somebody asked me that, sir, you had done so many things just by pursuing your passion. But we would like to know that, what about the paycheck part of it? How much do you get by doing something that you love? So unless until you get something big, there's no point doing it, right? So I said, yeah, you're right. Paycheck is very important. And if you ask me, what do I get at the end of the month? I get a blank check where I can put in any amount of figure, and I need to sign it, go to the bank, and then cash it. It's as simple as that. But there is a clause. The clause is that I can encash it only in one bank, not in others. Would you like to know which bank is it? All of them asked, sir, I would like to know which bank is it. I said, it's Bank of Happiness. Okay. There is something called a Bank of Happiness that all of you are not aware. So what happens is I get a blank check where I fill in an amount, go to the Bank of Happiness and then cash it. So it really doesn't matter how much of money that I make at the end of the month. But this check is something that I get every single month. And for me, that's what matters a lot. After I answered this question, what happened is a 70-year-old lady who was there in the audience, she came up to me and she hugged me and she told, I want to tell this to the entire audience who's sitting here, that what I understood after probably 60 years in my life, okay, this young boy understood it now, that what matters in life is nothing but happiness. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you, all of you, is that forget about the money part of it. Forget about the success part of it. Forget about the fame that you're going to make out of it. What's important for you is, do you have a purpose? Do you fulfill that purpose in your life? Is what that matters. If you've enjoyed the journey, if you had a purpose with which you did something that has changed lives of many, I don't think you ever need a success. That so-called the society defines it for you. The society has defined jobs for you. The society has defined success for you. Everything the society has decided for you. When you actually take up your passion as a career, only thing that you need to remember is the belief that you have in yourself. And second thing is, today, the gone are those days where you would say that I just work with this company. No, you take my profile. I work with multiple companies as multiple profiles. I'm a mental health coach in catfit.com. Mandar and No More, I'm a creative head. In Drama Talkies, I'm a creative head. I'm a filmmaker, which is a freelance filmmaking career itself. I work for Exhibit Pictures, which is an ad agency. There is something called Speak Up and Empower, which is a global community where I am a vice president today for India. So I'll be taking up my own shows tomorrow for them as a speaking community in India. I'll be recruiting speakers in that. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, gone are those days when you would restrict yourself to one job, come back home happily about it and thinking that, okay, what did I do the whole day? So today is the time where you can explore the possibilities. The possibilities are endless. So if you have the skills, the world will pay for you. A 19-year-old is a billionaire today. A 19-year-old is a billionaire today because of his skills, not because of his certification, not because of his experiences. Okay. So today what I'm trying to tell you is that you have the ocean of knowledge in front of you. All you require is a bit of wisdom. So every time you want to convert your passion into career, follow somebody who has done it, take his guidance on that. It will help. I'm open to all those people who want to take it up in their career and enjoy this ride. So I'll do my best to help them in any way or other. Okay. With that, I would end this particular session thinking that there will be more and more people trying to convert their passion into their profession. I'm sure paycheck would come because money can't be too far from you once you achieve excellence. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, that is a pretty inspiring session, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Learned pretty so many things from your talk. So we have a few questions from the audience.
Okay, wonderful. I'll be ready to take them up, one by one. I would suggest that all those people who have asked these questions, probably they can come on video, and probably we can take a one-to-one session. One by one, can I take them? Possible?
Yeah, it's possible. In that case, attendees, I mean, like whoever is interested to ask a question can raise the feature,
correct,
raise their hand, and I can make them a speaker.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
Do we have any? Okay. Okay. Sunil, I see that you've raised your hand. You can talk now.
Hello, sir. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, Sunil, I can hear you. I can't see you, but.
No video here, actually. No video is not enabled.
No issues, no issues. Yeah. Ask your question.
Sir, good evening, sir. Good evening. First of all, good evening, sir. Like,
very good evening.
It's very informative what you have shared in this. Actually, it's very new, which I have never attended this kind of webinar, actually.
Okay.
And you told we have to follow only passion, and that will be converted into career, and that give a success, like a success, and then it give a money, everything will come next. Only one thing, follow passion, actually.
Correct.
That is your tag. What you have entered, what you have told in this session is related.
No, just for the sake of saying I didn't say it, I mean it because I have lived through it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Like we have seen many people who get depressed in their work after working for many years and reach to saturation point. Why this happens? Or in many corporate sectors, this happens usually. In many survey what they done in US, many people will be get frustrated when they reach after 40-45 years and they get depressed in their jobs, and they do enter only for the survey, not for happiness, because they have to survey in the environment, in the society. Do this. Why this happens? At a certain point everyone reach to saturation doing same work, even though they have joined with passion, whatever they need. Initially everyone will join passion, then at one point what happens them, actually they will they get irritated, something keep on doing same work means same meeting, same people, same everything, same means something you'll get at one point you hate everything. Like why it happens this kind of thing?
Correct. I understood your point. I think I did touch upon this particular thing while going through the talk. If you remember, I did mention about one thing. It's all happening because we got, you're right. When somebody joins a particular job or a particular career, it is not just by virtue of getting money. There are a lot of people who join out of passion as well. Okay. What happens down the line is, every time when you get into a particular job, you know, many a times I keep asking this question, that gone are those generations. If you ask, go back to our fathers or my grandfather's generation, people used to work in one particular job for 30 to 50 years altogether. Together, you know, if somebody worked for 50 years altogether, also he was very happy with his job. Okay, today that's not the case. You know why? Because the kind of exposure what they had and the kind of exposure what we have is completely different. The world they used to live in, the world where we live, are two different worlds. We can't compare them. Okay. Many a times what happens with a lot of people is, as you said, that a lot of people are depressed, a lot of people are unhappy, a lot of people spend their time thinking that, okay, why am I into this? It's only because we live in this particular world where we live for the week, for the weekends, you know, for the holidays. We have actually made our lives in such a way that we start thinking that, okay, 5 days you need to work, 2 days you can relax. Okay, but what happens in those 2 days? What do you do in those 2 days? Most of the times when I ask this question, a lot of people say I sleep. Okay, do you think 5 days you spend to sleep for 2 days, that's your life is? So what happens is, for 1 month you will accept it, 1 year you will accept it, second year it actually starts questioning your mind. When these unanswered questions remain inside you, it gives you some kind of a frustration, and this adding frustration will build on to your mental illness. Then where you're not able to speak it, you know, you're not able to express yourself, you're not able to vent out. There is nobody in this world who's going to support you for saying this. Then what happens? Then what happens is, you start living in your own world, and in your own world you understood that you're nothing but worthless. So all that you're doing, the amount of work that you're doing is not giving you the peace of mind. It's not giving you the happiness that you're looking for. You know, Maslow's pyramid is something that a lot of people would have studied. You know, anybody who has studied MBA would know it. That what is that thing that we are looking for? End of the day, what is that thing that we are looking for? You know, is it the self-esteem that we are looking for? Is it the money? Is it the fame? Is it the position? What is that thing that we're looking for end of the day? Once your needs are fulfilled, beyond that, if you want to look for, you're only going to look for something called respect, something called esteem. If you're not getting your self-esteem for yourself, you think it is worth it. It is never worth it. I handle a lot of clients who come to me and tell me this, that okay, I'm really, really, really upset about my own life. Do you think it is a good sign? It is a sign that I can't really believe, because most of the time I question myself, okay, why did somebody come to a situation where he hates himself for his life? So the question is very simple. We have two choices to make at any given point of time. Do we live for others or do we live for ourselves? The question is simple. If you can answer this question, you got the answer to your question. Understood? So if you start living for others, you will probably live it with a lot of anxiety, with a lot of pain. But when you live for yourself, I'm telling you, to give you peace. It is going to give you peace of mind. It is going to give you happiness. Yes, the journey is never going to be easy. It's going to be challenging. But for whom? It's for yourself. You'll be, end of the day, you will find your ikigai. You got that, Sunil?
Sir, can you tell last thing, but I didn't heard what you told last. Can you repeat that last two things that you told now happy for yourself?
What I ask you is that, see, the question is very simple, Sunil. If you want an answer to the pain that somebody is going through for the situation that you have explained it to me, what I would say is that the question is very simple. The question is, you want to live for others or you want to live for yourself? If you can answer this particular question. If you want to live for others, it is only going to give you anxiety, depression. It is going to give you pressure, work pressure, peer pressure. It is going to give you whatnot. End of the day, you will never find peace for yourself. But if you start living for yourself, trust me, the journey is going to be tough, but you will have peace of mind. You will have happiness. Choice is very simple.
Yes, yes, I got it. Yes.
Thank you.
So we have another hand raise.
Yeah.
Okay. Surjo, Shorjo, if I'm not wrong. Okay. I'm allowing you to talk. You can ask your question directly.
Yeah. Who's it?
Hi,
Shorjo.
yeah, hi.
Giorgio.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Amir sir. It's so nice to hear from you.
Thank you, Giorgio.
Yeah. So my question is, like, how to deal or overcome your comfort zone when you're, in the process of pursuing your dream or passion.
How to?
Deal and overcome your comfort zone.
Okay. See, I think that's the very important part which I happened to tell that when I was telling you that either you can be, see, life is I gave an example that life is nothing but a ticket to an amusement park, right? So there are many rides that you have, but you are not comfortable with the roller coaster. So what I will do is I will skip roller coaster. I will never ever go into it. What I'll prefer is I will go for another ride which probably I find is very comfortable and I enjoy it, right? So the choice of going into all the rides that actually instills fear in me, and it can probably test me in terms of the kind of emotion that I'm going to go through, or I go and do something which I'm comfortable and I can handle the kind of emotions that are going to come through, is a choice that you will make for yourself. So today, either I choose that, okay, I love going and doing a go-karting kind of a thing in a amusement park. So I, throughout the year, I can keep doing go-karting. Okay. So nobody will charge me extra because you did this particular ride for 100 times, we'll charge you more. No, they will charge the same amount of money because the ticket is for all the rides. Okay. So you choose that, okay, I'll do go-karting because I love go-karting. Your choice, but that becomes your comfort zone. So when you start thinking of other rides, either they scare you because you feel that, okay, whether I'll be able to handle that roller coaster part, probably it is too high. When I go down, probably I'll feel like my heart is coming out, it's coming out of my mouth. That's the feeling that you don't want to get into. But leaving your comfort zone is basically going through that experience of understanding that what that ride is going to be, despite that taking that ride. Know that it that, okay, when I do bungee jumping, probably looking down 100 feet is going to scare me for, but yes, I still do bungee jumping because I want to experience that moment of it when I really do that free fall. I want to know what the experience means like. If you want to do it, then you have to come out of the comfort zone. You want to say that, okay, I don't jump it, push me. So you have to tell that instructor, I will never jump, push me. So you do that. Once you do that in life, you will remember for your life, and you will tell this to people. You know what? Bungee jumping, yes, you will fear. It is scary, no doubt. But the moment you jump in and you get the feeling, that feeling that you get when you are already jumped is priceless. Okay. And everybody else is to do it to believe it, okay, whether it is priceless or not. Unless until you do it, you can never ever feel that. Can you ever describe a feeling when you were doing a bungee jumping, what exactly you felt? Nobody can explain. Nobody can tell you what exactly it feels. So you need to do it yourself. Unless until you come out of your comfort zone, you have not seen the world if you have not come out of the comfort zone. And that's the world today.
Right. Uh, Thank you so much, sir. It was quite motivating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another hand raise.
Okay.
Dr. Lab Singh. I'm allowing you to talk. You can ask your questions directly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Patra. First of all, I congratulate the university, C.V. Raman University, for arranging a very good talk, and thanks Bhagyashri also. So coming
you.
directly to your talk, like actually I am basically a government officer. I retired as advisor to Government of India, and
Wow,
now,
fantastic.
now I'm already 62. So
Okay.
what do you basically we can talk much more on everything what you have talked, and I have also put some questions in question answer box also, but because now we are luckily interacting. So my simple request is that can you give some tips for the people retired officers? I mean, how do they spend the rest of their life? Can you give some tips on that? Thank you.
Sir, I think that's a very interesting part of it, sir. I think I've been taking a couple of sessions with people who are retired. Like there are retired SPs in my clientele as well. So who are like the superintendent of police and ACPs who are there. Who are basically. But it's a very interesting thing what you've actually raised. It's like what if you have done what you have already done what you're supposed to do, and you have come into a particular situation in life where you still look forward to see that what is that thing that you could do today, right? As I understand your question, sir, is that right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so very simple thing for you. I'll not be saying that this is a tip for you, but every single individual has a different aspiration altogether, sir. Today, when we talk about, I think before I started my session, I was talking about perspective. Why is today that we see success, in whenever we think of a aspiration or an inspiration, why do we think about people who have been successful, people who are billionaires, people who are achievers, to be our idols? Why? Because the perspective of success has been defined by the society, that we have told unless until somebody has achieved something in life, we really do not want to follow them and understand what is their journey been like, right? So today at this particular juncture, when you have already lived life for yourself, you have done something for years altogether, and you come to a point and ask yourself this question to yourself today. Ask this question to yourself when you get up every day in the morning. Ask this question: do I have a purpose with which I am living this life? One. Second, every time when I get up, I get up with the same kind of energy that I had yesterday. To live another day, keep living till the time it is out of my control. If these two questions are answered by yourself, then you don't live to look for anybody. If you cannot answer this, probably you need to find somebody who can tell you that these are the things that you need to work on, or these are the things that you can aspire to do in the coming years to follow. So I would suggest you that, sir, we all are looking for that purpose. If you have already found the purpose, it's fantastic. You haven't, you still have time. There is nothing.
Like just I want to interrupt. Sorry, I want to interrupt. Like at this stage of my life, I'm fully satisfied with the life as such and the routine, and because all my kids, they are all settled and we have got
Fantastic.
good property and all that. So, but what next? I mean, that is sometimes you feel like what next?
Sir, I think that is that. So I'll say what next will be fulfilled once you understand that did you find the purpose part of it? Because purpose is not, but say aapne jo bola tha, that is a conventional way of living life, sir. We have done it, right? A lot of people would say that okay, my children are settled, I have a house, my life is settled, I get up, I get a comfortable life for me. Yes, it's fantastic, very good. But does that give you the same kind of energy that you want to live with the rest of the time that you have with you? Do you want to live it with a purpose, or you want to live with whatever you've done? If you're content with it, very nice. But I'm trying to tell you that most of the times we probably didn't hit the purpose at all, even today. So there will be a number of things that are there inside you which are dying to come out. If you have not allowed them to come out, they will never come out. This is the time where you can look back and
So
understand.
that means in brief, Mr. Patra, you want to say that I should now, people at my stage, they can now
Yeah.
probably live with their passion, whatever passion they are left with,
Sir.
probably. So they can now pursue that. I think that is one thing which I
let me give you an example, sir. The biggest author of this Harry Potter series, the
Rolling.
writer of this particular J.K. Rowling, she
Yes.
started her writing at the age of 48, sir.
Okay.
What I said, the example which I gave, Mr. Miyazaki, who's an animator, who's a painter himself, at the age of 82, he's still painting, sir.
Okay. Right.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that most of the times we are confined by the age factor of us. We understand that probably at this age, there is nothing new that I can do. But that's a wrong notion, sir.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, and thank you for the patience of participants. Also, have taken a lot of time. Sorry for that.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you
Thank
so
you.
much. Grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 2 more hand raises.
Yeah,
Ajay
please.
Kumar, I'm letting you talk. You can ask him your questions directly.
It'll be great if somebody can come on video, because then I can interact with them.
Sir, very good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening.
Sir, thank you for the valuable class that you have teach us. Sir, right now I am pursuing graduation.
Okay.
Sir, I have a dream which I always I think of it. I want to create the things which were not present today, but in future they will help us a lot. I searched for a long time, but I can't find the proper knowledge to frame it. Like I gather some bits of information, but always it is bothering me to find a right pattern to frame it. Then only my dream come true. At a certain point of time, I have this certain goal at the age of 12. Now I am 19. In this meantime, I have time to think about my goal only. But right now, as I'm about to graduate, after that, there are certain responsibilities on me that whether I have to continue my dream or tend to work like a being to work from 9 to 5 means I have to give up my goal. I can't find the answer to, for example, I have to, I dream of creating a machine
Okay.
that no longer require the help of satellites or communication towers
Okay.
that can help reduce the radiation a lot.
Okay.
And I want to design uh, a glassware through which the blind people can see the world clearly than
Fantastic.
any one of us.
Okay.
I have information, knowledge, but how I can reach my goal means.
Okay. Okay. See, I think Ajay, for this, I would suggest you that 3 C's are very important for you. Okay, 3 C's. Remember this. One, a coach. You would require a coach. It's very important to have a mentor when you have a goal like this. Okay, a coach who can guide you both with knowledge and wisdom to know that what are the steps that you should follow so that you can actually go towards the goal and in the right spirit and right frame of mind. Okay, more important. Second is you need to have a community. The people around you are going to be positive about this dream of yours because it's a very unconventional dream. Okay, so the people who are surrounding you, if they are negative, then you will never feel that this is a dream which is achievable. So make a community around you, the people around you who are supportive about this, about knowing this particular skill of yours, which would take you towards the goal. Okay, and the third part of it is the kind of commitment that you need to give to this particular goal. Today, as you rightly said, when you're graduating, probably the focus is basically for you to score, because obviously this is how this entire system has been, right? So you need
Yes, sir.
to particular percentage to get into a particular institution or a higher education, whatever you want to pursue. But despite that, I think what you need to do is keep your commitment towards this particular goal. Okay, as coming to this particular thing, I today these 3 C's that you need to remember. If you can do that, trust me, in down the line, in couple of days down the line, when you actually have more clarity, what I see is the clarity is something that is missing at your end so far. So for that, I think it is better if you can actually find somebody who can actually mentor and make you help you and understand, break down your goals into small little objectives. Okay.
Sir, sir, thank you for the answer, sir.
So for anything that you want to reach out, obviously I'll be available. I'll share the on my portal also. You can reach out to me, and I can help you out, and especially in connecting people who can help you out in this.
Okay, we have one more person who wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Arvind, I'm allowing you to talk. You can talk.
Good evening, sir.
A very good evening, Arvind.
Actually, my question is that how we can means in this Corona time we have the fear of job loss, and I think that in our company job means the eliminating people is already started.
Okay.
So
Which
how
company are you in?
I can't mention you.
Okay, no issues. Okay.
Okay. So how we can means we can grow and we can survive in this situation, and we have the this only source of income. So how we can survive, and how the loan can be paid.
But what are you into, Arvind? Are you an engineer? What are you like a
engineer?
What profile are you into?
Electrical engineer, side job.
Okay. See, it's a very interesting question, Arvind, because this is something which I keep getting this question from everybody who's into the situation today. We all know this. What is the situation that we are into today? When we look at this particular thing, we all know this, that it is an unforeseen thing that we have seen probably in centuries altogether, right? So in this kind of a situation has never been faced and never been dreamt of, but we are all into it. And as I understand, it's very easy to say that don't pay cuts, don't do pay cuts, don't do job cuts. It's all very idealistic views that we can make it, and we can always ask for such things to happen, but it is not happening, unfortunately. So what is happening is something which is not in our hand. As you rightly said, that yes, there are job cuts happening, there is salary cuts happening, there are people who've been in a given pink slips. I agree with you, and we do not have any right, because obviously the employer has to take a call that how he has to run an organization, and make sure that they still sustain or survive. Okay, so that's a bigger perspective of looking at things. But what I'm trying to tell you is that yes, situations like this will definitely be challenging, and it is challenging. So look at a situation like, what kind of a scenario I am into right today. I'm a filmmaker and I want to make films. There are 4 films of mine which are basically under production or pre-production, which cannot go into floor where I can actually shoot them because of the restrictions that we cannot shoot for, I don't know for how many months now. So situation like this is tough for all of us. Like what you are facing is something which I'm facing. So today I cannot shoot by any chance. Even if I have the funds, I have the team, we still can't shoot. Okay, so the limitation is on everybody's front. Anybody is a freelancer, anybody who's doing a job, everybody is into a situation, a scenario where we are all stuck with this situation where we have our bills to pay, we have our survival things that we need to take care every day. We are doing it. But in such a situation, what all one must realize is that this is after Second World War. Such kind of a scenario or a catastrophe has not happened in the world. Okay. Today, if you have survived this pandemic, I would say you are a winner. Despite what has happened, what kind of testing times that you have gone through. So if you and me are talking today and we are in that stage where we can talk to each other and we can still hear each other, probably we should be fortunate enough to thank our fortunes to make sure that we are still alive. Okay. So one positive about this two things, what you said that there are too many negatives. I would say the first positive thing is that we are alive. We should be thankful for that, first thing. Second thing, I would like you to understand is whenever such an adversity, okay, the first and foremost thing for you to understand is, like, for example, when I stopped doing this particular shoot part of it, when I was not able to shoot, I started focusing on my writing. So I used to write it so that I can share these particular stories or things that whatever way I can use it with for my payment, which can take care of my bills. But that also was not sufficient. So what I did is, what is that thing that I can do, which I was doing, which I'm capable of doing. Then I started getting into the speaking thing, So today I can say this, that, I go to corporates, I can actually deliver, virtual meetings where I can deliver sessions for people. I take sessions for people for personal growth, etc. So all these things are something which I always had the skills, but I never used them. But at this given point of time, when the times were testing, I did my own innovation at my end and understood that probably you need to survive, you need to do something that you were not doing so far. So today I can say this, that the sustainability has been taken care by the skill of speaking. When I share stories, it's not just sharing stories. It's basically making changes to lives of people. Doing it, I'm also getting paid for that. So today, when you look at yourself and ask this question, if the job is not there, what is that thing that you can do which will make sure that you can actually earn from it? If you have a skill, good. No, then your skills. You get that, Arvind?
Okay, means we have to acquire new skill, or we have to develop our.
It need not be new skill, Arvind. It can be a skill that you have which needs a little bit of nurturing. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that in situations like this, when it is testing, the best part is for you to understand that, okay, what can I do today that will make sure that I survive. If you've survived, you're a winner. Don't worry about what has happened to you, what has happened to others. Stop comparing. You have to survive, and the survival is something that you need to look for today. That can happen through anything. The avenues can be anything. But if you have a skill, nurture it. Time is now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for your.
Thank you, Arvind.
Nice answer.
And you can get in touch with me for any other guidance if you want.
How we?
There is a website. I think
yes, I've mentioned a website where you can get in touch with him. You have his email ID over there.
Okay. So, any more questions, Bhagyashree, or are we?
There's this repeated person who has raised his hand. Sunil, I'm allowing you to talk. This would be the last question for the session, as we have exceeded the limit. So you can get in touch with him directly if you have any other queries. So Sunil, now you can take ask your question.
Sir, can you explain how to balance emotional coefficients? Emotional quotient.
I think that's too big a question to answer in one line, Sunil. But I can tell you that yes, there are we all are of the opinion that we cannot actually control the emotions that we have. But yes, it is doable, and there are processes that we need to follow. And if we do that, and probably that's why I mentioned 3 C's, right? The first one is basically the coach. So you need to find the right coach. So today, when we talk about this, I would say this, that a very important part when we actually do this control of emotions, because emotional quotient is nothing how we actually treat people who are going to interact with us, not just that, also the kind of emotion that we go through. So there is no emotional outflow or there is no dearth of emotions in us. Okay, both the things are need to be controlled. Like for example, you open a tap. आपके पास घर में tap होता है, right? If you open a tap, you know the first drop that comes out of the tap is basically going to give you this particular feeling that there is water inside it.
Yes.
If you open it fully and there is no water coming out, what does it mean? It means that there is no water.
Yes, sir.
So emotions are also like that. Okay, so you can feel, open the tap and still feel empty inside, or you can feel full and probably, you know, the flow comes out slowly. So the control is basically that tap of it, and this tap can be controlled once you learn how to do it, and this particular thing can be done over sessions. So I would not say this that, you know, I do it for people just like that, but yes, it happens over sessions. It can be professional, it can be personal, or it can be something related to life, but everything can be done once you understand how to deal with it, how to control it.
And you told you should take risk in your life, like you told, like
I
and
didn't
if
get
you,
you. What did you say?
sir, like if you get failed in anything, sir, in your life, if you're taking a big risk and you tried something and you failed in something like that, how to overcome from that pain, sir? Like
Okay. See, risk is something which you can't avoid, right? There is a direct ratio between risk and growth, returns, risk and return. ये दोनों जो है ना, they're all related to each other. Okay, and they're proportional. You know, if you take risk, then you cannot particularly get some returns. आप म्यूचुअल फंड में कभी इन्वेस्ट करो तो वहां पे लिखा जाता है कि it's subjected to market risk, and the risk is maximum when you invest in equity, right? But अगर आप पूछो कि मार्केट में सबसे ज्यादा रिटर्न कौन देता है, तो पीपल वुड से इट इज इक्विटी ओनली, राइट?
yes, sir.
So if you don't take risk, then you can't expect returns. So that is something which is sacrosanct. आपको करना ही है, वो लेना ही है. But how do we take it and how we can take the calculated risk is something where our wisdom comes into play.
Okay.
Understand ourselves, then probably we'll understand that कि कितना रिस्क लेना सही है और कितना रिस्क हम नहीं ले सकते. That is where we need to learn that particular process. So वो चीज, for that I think you know, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that see, all those who wants to get in into these ways of learning these small little tricks of life, because हमें टेक्स्ट बुक में सब कुछ पढ़ाया जाता है लेकिन लाइफ नहीं पढ़ाया जाता, right? Nobody teaches you life, how to handle life, which we can learn from somebody who has seen it and has gone through the experiences of it.
Sir, and last
Require, yeah.
Sir, and like we always compare with successful people, sir. Like like you told, no, like we are
Yes.
like person what 19 years holding the richest billionaire
Correct.
or something. If anything, like we started something a new. This is a case which I'm just telling. In case you have started something new, and you always compare with like how much money you made, and maybe you compare to other people.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Actually. How to tackle these things, sir? Like it is good or bad to relate to that, or maybe if you not do yourself only, the people around you will make that actually.
Yes, yes. I completely agree with you, Sunil. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. That is why I spoke about the perspective part of it. Success, what it means to you, what it means to me are different. Okay. So या तो you start living, आपको मैंने यही कहा था, start living what people want you to live like, or you start living on your own terms. When it gives you success, doesn't matter. If it gives you happiness, then obviously invariably in some point or other you will get success.
Sir, last one question, sir. How to like overcome anxiety, sir? Clear.
Yeah.
This last one. That is last question which I want to ask you.
Okay. How to
overcome anxiety?
Overcome anxiety. It's like same example which I was giving somebody, saying that, you know, वो जब bungee jumping में आप जब खड़े होते हो ना, when you're there on the flatting where you're supposed to jump, for one particular moment when you just before the jump, you know, the inner voice coming from you always tells you that no, don't do it, don't do it 1,000 times, right? So anxiety is something like that. Anxiety is the one which is the negative guy inside you who's telling you that, you know, you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it, and you're not able to handle that particular situation. But it is also that same person, you know, inside you who tells you that, okay, take this plunge, we'll see what happens next, right? So this good or bad, the things are inside you. So when the bad becomes more heavier, you probably need to rely on the gooder, the better one, the good one, right? Did you get that?
Yes, yes. That is a very long Q&A session which we had.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yeah, Bhagesh.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for giving us this valuable webinar, taking out your time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope it
now
was.
We are going. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hope it is useful for all of them. All those who wants to get in touch can get in touch with me on www.creative-soldier with me. So anybody who wants to get in touch can get in touch with me. And I look forward to more sessions with you, both with Vawe and, you know, CVRGI. And thank you for having me on board.
Thank you so much, sir. The attendees will be redirected to a page where you can give us feedback and suggestions. Please fill them as they will help us improve. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.